Welcome everybody. So we are in record and we are in session number 12 here. Both 12 and 13 are about how to answer interview questions about software testing. We have, let me show you. In the video library where it comes to job search here, we have two videos which I recorded maybe 2 years ago in one of the online classes, and that video talks about interview questions related to quality assurance, and that one talks about interview questions related to software testing, and altogether these two videos cover about 60 questions, and those 60 questions account for maybe 95% of what they might ask you when you go to an interview. And so that is how you prepare to the actual interviews in the real world environment. So let me go to the survey results, and let's see how you answered the testing questions. Some of them are more common than others, and some of them are more important than others. So I will give you the idea. So how many people, wait a second, how many people participated? Let me see, let's refresh. 38 people. Could be more than that, but it's okay. Okay, let's go. There is no documentation. How would you test the application? Guys, in today's world, there is no documentation is very common condition. I remember one lady, our graduate, she goes to an internship and then she calls and she is panicking and she says, guys, they have no documentation. Listen, it's okay. If you work in a bank or insurance company or you do something for government, there are going to be lots of documentation. They have money, and they are under special regulations, which makes them to comply with certain requirements. If you work in a small company, or sometimes even in a bigger company, we have people here, our teachers, working, for example, there is one working in VMware, which is a huge company, and they are doing virtual machines. They work in agile environment as well. They have teams working in agile environment. So, which means there is either no or very little documentation. It is a very, very common situation. So, I'm not sure if you watched the agile video. Let me show you where they are, guys. That is something extraordinary. Here in the software testing, QA testing, we have Yana Murza. She's, an amazing teacher. And she works, by the way, she's a senior QA lead working for VMware. And so she talks about test documentation, and that is must. But also she talks about agile environment. All you have to know in your life about agile is here in 2 lectures. Actually, it's 2 hours of same lecture. I personally videotaped her in the classroom. So in agile environment, let's say you have agile with 2 weeks cycle. And it means, let's say Tuesday is the beginning of the cycle. We get together on a meeting and we discuss what we're going to do for the next 2 weeks, and that's it. And in 2 weeks, the software is released, and we discuss what we're going to do next 2 weeks. It doesn't mean there should be no documentation at all, but it means there is very little documentation, and definitely there are no exact definitions of features and how they're going to work and so on. So let's see. What should I do? They tell me, Michael, you have to test this feature, and they give me no documentation. They might still tell me something, and something might be that feature, the way we want it, should be same as in Google Maps, for example. And now I have something to compare with. and that Google Maps or I don't know, Amazon.com, so becomes my requirement, kind of, not exactly, but kind of. So if there is a discrepancy between how it is done by Amazon and how we did that, so it becomes a foundation, justification for writing a test case. Oh, I'm sorry, for writing a bug report, saying, okay, it's a problem. So, and we have most of you on that side, and I would say, guys, it is a very good choice. It is a very good choice. Then use my intuition. Intuition is a very good thing. It's a very good thing. But intuition will not replace the requirement. Intuition will suggest you which direction is better out of multiple directions. Intuition will save you time. So you put 48% of you are going for intuition. I think you emphasize it too much. If I listen to you, okay? If I listen to you, and I want to make sure you do not rely much on intuition. I want you to go for more objective things. Something which is measurable and tangible rather than your intuition. Will enroll in computer science course at City College. That is real miserable, guys. Real miserable. I'm happy you're not going for it. Ask developers to explain what they developed. Yes and no. You shouldn't be abusive in that. What they assume is before you ask a question, you do some homework. In today's world, you can get 90% of information without asking any question. If you know how to use Google, if you can go to Wikipedia, if you can look at the product we want to be like, 90% of answers will be found by you without asking any question. And that is what they want to see. So if you come with a question, it is worth it. It is worth their time being spent. Instead, because some people are abusive. They don't want to spend time. They are not proactive. They don't want to research anything. And they come with every small piece. They come and ask questions. There was a gentleman here in our school. God knows. He's a developer now, actually. It was right before the recession began, the most recent one, I'm not sure, 2009. So he was here. He came from Seattle, and he studied here, went back home to Seattle, and got a job with Microsoft. But prior to coming to us, he was working in a mechanical shop. And in a mechanical shop, he was trained not to do anything unless it gets approved by his boss or manager. And he applied same methodology, so working for Microsoft, and it took him just 1 month to lose a job. Before he does anything, he would go to manager and ask him. And manager told him, look, I mean, you're not ready to do the job. I mean, and they let him go. And when I asked him, how did it happen? He said, I was trained to ask questions, but before I do anything. But guys, software, it will not cut your finger, It will not kill you if you, fix a piece of metal in the wrong way. I'm just explaining you there is a balance. There should be a balance between asking questions and being abusive in asking questions, not doing your own kind of work. It is obvious, guys. I'm not saying anything which is difficult to to understand, but just keep it in mind. Yes, we do talk to developers, especially when it is very informal. Let's say we go to lunch and they give you some insights. And my suggestion to you, if you go to lunch, anyway, go with developers, sometimes at least. So because you're going to learn a lot. Ask QA manager about the application under test. QA manager is probably a better person to ask than, let's say, development manager or even developer, because QA manager is supposed to answer your questions. So, yeah, sometimes we ask QA manager, but again, not in an abusive way. Ask QA manager how she wants me to learn about the product? It's a very good question, especially if you ask the question at the time of interview. Do we have it? Yeah. At the time of interview, ask the manager how new employees learn about the application. Guys, that is a very good question to ask. If you have an interview and they ask you any questions, you say, just wondering, in your company, I mean, how new people get up to speed with understanding the product. And at that time, they have to commit. They will help you. They will say, oh yeah, no problem, ask me questions anytime. Okay. So that answer is pretty good. I like it. Will not accept a job like that. Some people say, hey, listen, if you don't accept that job, so you might never get a job. I mean, you always accept a job. You let them decide if you are not good enough. Don't make that decision. You don't know, really. We'll go through reported bugs. Hypothetically, you might say, well, if I look at the reported bugs and bugs are pointing to the wrong things, and it's very clear what's wrong and what's right, and I will learn the right behavior, it is extremely time consuming. So it is not practical. It is hypothetically possible, but it's not practical. Not to mention that very often it's a very new product, so you cannot see much in the bug tracking system. But it is the most expensive way of doing things. So I would not really want anybody working for me doing that. I mean, there is always more efficient way of learning the product. Okay. What would you do if you find a serious bug, but build is already done and release is scheduled for tomorrow? Okay, guys, that is kind of how do you feel about politics in your workplace? Because if you are a tester and you find a bug, who cares if the release is today, tomorrow, or after tomorrow, 3 months from now, or 5 weeks before? Who cares? You see the bug, you write a bug report. It's not your business to decide what to fix, when to fix, are they going to fix it at all, who is going to fix it? Why in the world you should care about it? So 54% of you are saying report the bug immediately. So people who are supposed to make decisions know it is there and they will make their decision. Then you might have another consideration. You might go to QA manager and say, listen, it's scheduled for release, and if I report that bug now, they might postpone the release. And do you think I have to do it now, or you would rather want me to do it tomorrow or after the release? And then your manager might, first of all, your manager might say, oh, please report, no problem. Your manager might say, oh, God, you know what, let's postpone, let's wait for a day. Okay, let them release the software. Or whatever, guys, it's not your business. Your manager might think, kind of appreciate your attention. I mean, someone cares about manager not exposing himself, herself. So it's kind of political games. But definitely it doesn't hurt to ask. And it really depends who your manager is, what type of person your manager is. Because sometimes you wouldn't even consider doing that. You just report and forget about it. And sometimes it's more, the relationship is more personal, you know, and you might ask questions like that as well. Okay, it's good we discuss that. There is no clear answer, but we just discuss it to give you the perspective of what to do. And that is an interview question, guys. Remember, it's not like we are looking at how companies operate. That question was asked at the time of interview. And that is the only reason it is in my list. I'm using questions in my quizzes. I'm using questions which were reported by students. Every week we are getting tens of questions. And we decide which ones we want to discuss with you. So it is a real interview question. Software QA process includes... we have it, if you go to... I'm just thinking where it is. Okay. if you go to portnow.com, you know the place, portnow.com/data /QA, login, and it must be in other maybe. Yeah, describe the QA process. It is just something you memorize maybe. It's better to understand. So, but it says planning, development, execution, management, defect management, and test reporting. And if you compare that to what we have here, we have planning, yes, development, each next one, execution, defect management. Somehow, guys, you do not pay much attention to defect management, and I don't know why bug monitoring. Defect management is a better term for bug monitoring. Okay, test reporting. So the only problematic thing to you which happened here was defect management. You didn't estimate defect management, and you kind of over-invested in bug monitoring. But guys, it is a little bit confusing maybe, and you didn't look at the right answer when you did that. So I would say overall it's very good, because practically all the important things are given more attention rather than fake things, not important things. Black and white box testing. Black and white box testing is not exactly a software QA process part. It's just the type of testing. It's a little bit different. Under test execution process and under test planning process, where is test planning. So you will decide what you do with black box, what you do with white box, and what you do both. And then when you execute, so then you execute it one way or another way. So black and white box testing is not consistent with other things listed in that question. It's kind of stranger here. Okay. Which tools are used to write test cases? That is the question. First of all, there are tools. Let me run Notepad, and I will write something for you. Okay. We write Notepad, and there is a class of software applications called test management applications. Test management. What are the test management applications? Rational test management, you can see it, rational test manager is one. Another, quality center, absolutely. Quality center is the most popular one. The quality center coming from HP. It used to be Mercury Interactive, but HP purchased Mercury Interactive, so now it is HP Quality Center. Part of Quality Center is called Test Director. So test management applications, let me give you another one which is important in today's world, very common, TestLink. Those applications allow QA team to develop test cases, to control their execution. Quality Center allows you to actually execute automated tests from inside if your automation tools are part of the HP or Mercury package. So if you use, used to be WinRunner, we don't have WinRunner anymore, we have QTP, and we have LoadRunner, and you can run those tests from inside of the test management tools. There are tools which are specifically bug tracking. And by the way, test management tools include bug tracking. But then there are just bug tracking things. Let's say Bugzilla is just about bug tracking. It doesn't have anything else. It's just bug tracking. But the question is about writing test cases. Definitely, each and every test management tool allows you to write test cases. And actually, it allows you to control their execution as well. So Bugzilla doesn't allow you to write test cases, for sure, no way. Quality Center does, 100%. Excel, guys, definitely in Excel you can write whatever you want. I remember myself when we just came to US. Someone gave me a computer, and the only thing it had on it was a spreadsheet, not Excel, but similar to Excel. And I did my first resume in spreadsheet. So you can do whatever you want in spreadsheet. But definitely test cases, if you do not have dedicated tool, and you have to decide what you take, Excel or any other spreadsheet is the first choice, because you write it in a structured way already. So column by column by column, it's very convenient. Microsoft Word, guys, Microsoft Word is cool. You can create a table in Microsoft Word and use it. So again, I agree with you that Excel is more convenient. Rational test manager, so you don't trust test manager and quality center because you do not know what they are doing. I like that you don't like Google Chrome and Yahoo Calendar. They are not existing to write test cases. I mean, no way you can write test cases with that stuff. Good. Good. Just remember, we have a category of tools, like test management tools, and they are including all the components. They are covering all the components. And there is one tool, let me give you Zephyr. It's called Zephyr, or Go, yeah, Zephyr. And they are local here in Silicon Valley. They used to take our interns a lot, and actually they have our graduates working there. Very, very cool tool. I would say competing with maybe Quality Center. I'm not sure it is competing successfully, but they are in business for many years, so they're probably competing successfully. Okay, what is a build? Civil engineering term, nobody says that. Version of a computer program, absolutely. Build is a version of computer program. If I run Notepad, for example, and in Windows applications, it's always under Help About. About Notepad, it says version 6.1 build 7600. Version build blah blah blah. So under version 6.1, they have multiple builds. See what happens? Okay, version of a computer program. What if I do another application? What if I do browser? Let me see, browser. Can I do it with a browser? Okay, let me see if I have about help. Oh, about, okay, about Google Chrome. What does it say? It says version 31.0.16 blah 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 M. So that is the version of a browser. So version of a computer program. It's true. Same as release. Not everybody agrees. It is the same. It is pretty much the same. In some companies, there is no difference. They might say build or release, and there is no difference. Same as patch. It is not patch. Patch is a fix which they give to clients or to install. Same as compiler. Compiler is a software program which creates builds. You need compiler to produce build, but build is a product of compiler. It's like parent-child relationship. Okay. Number in the about box of a Firefox browser. Let's run Firefox. Okay, Firefox browser. But you know, guys, what we are talking about. About box of any Windows application. Help about Firefox. It doesn't even use the word build or release. It just says 26.0. What is that? If you don't know, you don't know. Nobody cares. So they don't bother to tell you it's a build. Funny. So guys, let me clarify a little bit. In some companies, okay, number one. Okay, let me write it for you. So number one, no difference. In some companies, that is the case. In some companies. But in other scenario, they say build is kind of in-house enumeration. You are saying build 1, build 2, build 3, build 4, and then they use the word release for if, yeah, for, okay, let's say for build going to customers. Okay, build going to customers, and they might have something called release candidate build. So they create a build, and when they have a build, it is just us in the company who have access to the build. But then it is a release candidate, because after we test that build and we decide it's good enough to be released, then it becomes a release and it goes to customers. So in some companies, no difference. In some companies, there is a difference, and that is what the difference is. So build is something customers never see. Release is something which goes to customers. One of the builds going to customers. Okay. But again, both are versions of a computer program. Very good. Let's keep going. So guys, all of those are interview questions. Don't get me wrong. Make sure, guys, you go again through the questions after we talk, and you just make it 100%, okay? Because you do not want to fail, when it really comes to you. And out of the questions we discuss, well, I wouldn't say most of them will be given to you, but out of what's going to be given to you, 99% we cover in the class. We don't know which ones will happen to you at one interview or another interview. Manual. So what do you prefer, manual or automated testing? That one is not good because you're looking for manual testing position right now, but you do not want any miserable kind of standing. And you say, I would rather do automation, but I don't know automation, and that is why. You say, I'm looking for manual testing. It's okay. Automated. I never did that, but I like to get involved. They normally, I can tell you guys, 99% of companies which really care about automation will not take you if you just want to be involved, unless you have computer science degree, or maybe you worked as a developer before. So it is obvious that with your background you can jump on automation within a couple of days, no problem. But if you never did any coding before, it's very rare to see people hired for learning automation right there. We all need room to grow. When they hire you, the question they ask themselves is, what can I give that person to keep him happy in terms of learning more things? What that person is willing to learn. So automation could be one of those. Not sure, either manual or white box. That is really bad. Either white box or automated testing. You have to qualify. Guys, there is no problem with that. You just have to qualify. The one where I make more money. Nobody goes for money. Good. It's good. I mean, money is important, but not when you go to an interview. Doesn't matter. I just have to pay my bills. Oh God, it's a very poor attitude. Nobody will give you a job like that. Okay, unless they give you dynamite and ask you to blow something up. But then you don't have to pay bills anyway. Looking for manual. The opportunity to learn automated is really appreciated. That is definitely the best answer, because you are saying, guys, I am looking for manual, and that is who I am. But if you have an opportunity, give it to me. I want that opportunity. And they want to give you an opportunity. They do care about you having an opportunity. I'm not sure. What would you suggest? Come on. Number 7. Explain how you write test cases. Sometimes they ask you questions and they are not well defined, because you might say, which methodology am I using? For example, you might say, I'm using class equivalence classes and boundary conditions methodology. But is it what they ask you? Or they are asking you which tools are you using? Or they are asking you what is the structure of test case. But guys, you have to deal with reality. In reality, questions might not be clear. Sometimes you might clarify what they want. Sometimes you have no chance. They give you like a piece of paper and the question is typed in and that is all you have. Sometimes they send you questionnaire over email. Okay? So we have to deal with the real world, and that is the real world question. Explain how you write test case. Definitely you do not use test automation tools. Using business and technical requirements if possible. Absolutely. You do want all types of requirements. That is a very good answer. Based on my previous QA experience, not really good. Experience helps. If you have more experience, they pay you more money, guys, because it helps. But it's not how you write test cases, because test cases are functions of requirements. You have to know requirements to write test cases. So in previous experience, it might help somehow, but it's not exactly what they are asking you. I provide both expected and actual results. Guys, you cannot do that. If you write test case, you do not know actual. How do you know actual without execution? Don't say that. A test case has ID, good. Purpose, very good. Instruction, good. Expected result, perfect. And actually we have 81% of you supporting that. Guys, that is the right way to go. Actual results will be provided at the time of execution, not planning. It is true, it's 100% true, guys. Actual results will be provided at time of execution. You don't know actual unless you execute. Well, what's wrong? Why do we have 32%? It's 100%. According to QA manager directions, relax. Everything you do is happening because QA manager told you to do that. It's not an answer. Pass-fail will be decided at the time of execution. Now, guys, look what happens. We have actual results at the time of execution. We have 32%. Pass-fail, 48%. How come? Unless I know actual, I cannot compare actual to expected. I cannot say if it passed or failed. So at the time of execution, when I run the test case, I see the actual and I see if it failed or passed. So it should be the same. Think about it, guys. It's funny, but think about it. So next time you do not run into that. It is about execution. You cannot say if it failed or passed unless you run the test case. Why we have less than 50% here? All the companies are supposed to write test cases in the same style. Come on. Not really. Not really. What is regression testing? Oh, it's a big question. Big time. I would say when it comes to internships, most of the interviews will have that regression testing question. I don't know why it's so popular, but technically, if you fail regression testing question, so you have no chance. No, there is no reason to talk to you, more than that. It's just very fundamental, very, very basic. Just to sort out immediately the wrong people. That is how it is used. When we regret about what and how we tested, we still have, some people supporting that. How many? One? Just one? Yeah, just one. Okay. Done by developers? No way. It's not who does it. It's why it is done. No new errors introduced while modifying the code. Yeah, nothing broken as a result of changing the code. Good. Making sure the bug was fixed. Not at all. Making sure the bug was fixed is not regression. It's called verification of fixed bugs. No new bugs resulting from fixing the bug. It is a kind of subset. So when we are saying no new bugs resulting from modifying the code, it includes fixing the bug. There might be multiple reasons for modifying the code. So when we modify the code, it might be because we fix a bug. It might be because we keep developing the software. It might be because the code was recompiled with different configurational options. It happens. So there are some reasons outside of fixing the bug. And if you go to the school forum where we answer the questions, we have sections there which says avoid saying certain things. So saying it's about fixing the bug, making sure the fixed bugs doesn't result in new problem. It says avoid saying that. Avoid. We have 20% of people running into what we are saying avoid. Whichever way manager interprets the meaning. Guys, you will be laughing, but if your manager is using God knows which meaning, you will follow your manager in that. So we are flexible. We know what things are about, but if we go somewhere and they put different meaning into certain term, we are okay. If you work for U-Test, lots of things are defined quite differently there. It's okay. You just, when you go to an interview, don't tell them that is the way to go. You can tell them, you know what, here is how we define it, but when I was doing something on U-Test, they have completely different concept. And if you work for 3 companies and all 3 were doing that differently, bring it to the table and say, you know what, as simple as it is, you know what, I work for 3 companies and all 3 did it differently. And listen, if you have way number 4 of doing that, I'm okay with that. Really, I mean, you do not stuck to one way or another way. You have your opinion, but you can adjust. I mean, as a professional person, you can adjust to whatever terminology they use. And I can tell you, if you go to 10 companies, they will interpret the terminology we learned in that class in 10 different ways. Okay, each company will be different in some way. Okay, be prepared. It's okay. It's normal. It's no issue. Do not try to convince people that this is should be one way or this should be another. Don't do that. Just let them be the way they are. Why do you choose the QA career? That is a very important question. If you have no reason to be in that profession, you are not likely to get a specific job, the specific job. They want people committed to the profession. It is really accidental. I just like to work in IT field. That is a very bad answer. You come to a girl and you say, would you marry me? And she says, why me? She says, I just have to be married. My mother told me I have to get married. No way. Okay? You have to be in love with that specific girl. Okay? Why you are in QA? Not by accident. Friends suggested to look at QA as possible career change option. That is a very good beginning. It is not exactly the complete answer, but as a beginning, yes, you have friends and you listen to your friends. Good. Financial aspect is very appealing. Don't say that. It is appealing, guys. I'm saying that to the world, but you know what? Not at the time of interview. You do not have to know much to get a job. Yeah, some people think it is the case, and it is somewhat, but don't say that. It doesn't require much of communication skills. Some people enjoy that part. It really doesn't require as much of communication skills as many other professions, let's say business analysis or technical support, but it is not what you are selling. It was accidental at first. I like that at first. Friends suggested to me, so it was accidental at first, but over time I became very committed to the profession, and I see myself as someone making the difference in software testing maybe a couple of years down the road, and that is where I want to go. So if they take you, you have lots of long-term interest in the profession and in certain technologies and this and that. We will talk about how to answer the question about why they should hire you, and actually it's on a video. If you go here, why should we hire you? What are your weaknesses? Tell me about yourself. So you can watch those even now, or maybe you can watch them again. We have a gentleman here who didn't do very well as a student, but anytime he has an interview, he gets a job offer. And I asked him how he manages to do that, and he said, Michael, before each and every interview, I watch all 3. He said, and it takes like 15 minutes. He watches all 3, and then he goes to an interview, and those 3 videos put his in the position, mentally, in the position of a right candidate. But it's like a shower. You take a shower. It doesn't mean you take it one time for the rest of your life. So anytime you go to the interview, you take that shower again before. Okay, that is your interview passing shower. 3 videos, 15 minutes. Okay, that is how it works. Keep going. Write a test case for the application you have recently tested. Wow. We have, look how many people just skipped that question. Guys, you cannot skip it. I mean, if you skip it, you get no job. You have no reason to skip it unless you decided to do the quiz 5 minutes before the class begins. What do you mean skipped? Half of the class skipped the question. Oh, yeah. No way, because practically each and every interview will be including writing some test cases. At least, I would say maybe if you go to the job market, maybe not that often, but when we have companies taking interns, they have, it's must. They ask them to write test cases and they ask them to write a bug report. Otherwise, they will not take them at all. Okay, I'm not looking at your test cases right now. And we have Beam. Yeah, definitely you did test cases with Marina. And you have videos with test cases. So, and I did some, and we have some on the forum, and we have Yana Murza videos on test documentation with test cases. So you have to be good enough. Just be prepared, guys. If it's going to happen anyway, prepare before you go to the interview. I mean, why would you prepare after you fail? Prepare before. Be ready to come up with a couple of test cases right away. Give them the login password dialog box. Whatever application you test, there is some login and some password. So, okay, show them, okay, that is how we test the login and password. Here are 5 requirements and here are 5 test cases. Boom, done. And you amaze them. That one question, guys, that one question, give me test cases you did last time, it is worth of a job offer. If you do that, you have 95% of the job offer in your email already. So we cannot really go for 17 out of 38 skipping the question. Okay, make sure, guys, you do it. Next time we get together in a week, I will go to look at that question, so I expect more answers there. It is critically important. It is a single most important question you might get at the time of interview. Single most important question. Give me a couple of test cases out of your last project, or here is something, let's do test cases. Single most important question. Okay, let me see if we have questions there. Okay, what is the homework? Same as for today? Okay, it's a good question. Normally, yeah, we have 13th and 12th under same thing. So what it says, common interview questions. Okay, so common interview questions. We will do more. So we do not need survey anymore. Okay, we've done the survey with the exception of people who skipped the question number 10. And we will go through that part of it, which is different types of testing. And I want you to go through testing types webinar. That is how you prepare. In that specific webinar, let me see if it is exactly the one. Yeah, that is the one. And you go to that webinar and we talk about different types of testing and we will discuss them next time. Okay, so I am going through that list in that presentation, and when we get next time, I will try to get something out of you. So be prepared to answer any of the questions. So you have those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But you have 17 lines, but some lines have more than one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are talking about close to 30 types of testing. Be prepared to explain what it is. That is what we're going to do next time. So we will play around those types of testing. We want to make sure you can deliver that at the time of interview. Same question about when is the last day of the school. It's a good question. We have Marina and Yvette coming to the end of their modules. So when it happens, I will take over, and your course overall, it takes 40 sessions. So I think it is my understanding, we start next class on March 11th, and I think we have to be done closer to February 20th, that type. I can calculate if you want me to, but so we have 8 sessions left in this class, and then we have, I don't know how many left in the project and mobile, maybe another 5 altogether. So we have, if we have 13 sessions left, we are looking at 4 weeks or 4 something weeks. Let's say 1 month. We will, yeah, basically 4 more weeks. That is why, guys, I want you to go to the job market as soon as possible. And I probably told you before, final exam. No, we don't want final exam. We want you to get a job. That is your really final exam. I probably told you that there are testimonials of a couple of people from previous classes who were kind of perfectionists in their nature, and they were thinking, okay, I need some more time to learn this, to look at this, and then, and finally they started to work for a job, to look for a job, and they found a job. The thing is, the sooner you start looking for a job, the sooner you're going to get a job. It is not exactly proportionate to the amount of time you spend to learn the subject. Learning the subject is one story, and looking for a job is another story. There is some correlation, but it is not as much as you might think about it. Some of us are already on the market. Good, good, guys. That is what I like in you most, okay? If you are on the market looking, I know you're going to get a job. If you are not on the market looking, then I don't know, really. I don't know where you're going to be. Okay, if you are looking for a job, you cannot fail, guys. I mean, you have no chance. You will have access to the library. Class is over. But after the class is over, you have lifetime access to the library, and we are normally adding more things to the library, or we replace something which is obsolete with something which is newer. It is a lifetime access. Wow. Someone had 3 interviews. Listen, would you talk about it? Wait a second. How come we missed you? Oh, yeah, okay, wait a second. But how, I do not see where you are in my, oh, yes. Let me, so your microphone is on. Would you please share your interviews? Let me get off the record just a second. So guys, we are off record and we are listening.